Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter the Master of Hoppets, still at the in-laws, reviewing some beers to share with them. And today we're trying a beer that I'm quite excited by trying. Got this one for Beer Dome, so thanks a ton to Beer Dome for the beer. Look for the shop down below in the description. There's a link and you'll find a great variety of craft beers. So this one I'm really excited about. It's the first Northern Monk beer I review in years, I think. And this is Northern Monk Beyond in a huge tall boy can. Classic IPA, 6.5%. Go beyond, explore a new world with a journey to the frontier. Craft beer brewed with northern pride and packed with citrusy, piney flavors. So this is really fun because this is something they've been wanting to do at Northern Monk for a while. Apparently they've made plenty of West Coast IPAs, but this was a huge attempt at paying homage to the West Coast IPAs that paved the way for what we drink now, which is awesome. Not on the only haze and all these things, like going backwards, not modern West Coast, like all the way back to 2010s, early Stone, or Stone in that era, Ballast Point, Russian River. He mentions Bell as well, although they're in Michigan. But he mentions a lot of the breweries back then that was known for hoppy beers, and what they really wanted to encapsulate was like the kind of hoppy marmalade character you got in some of those beers. I don't think all of them had that, but they were very packed with citrus. So yeah, it'll be fun to see how this one turned out because I love those beers too. I think I like the modern interpretation of West Coast a little bit more these days, but that being said, it should still be quite nice. They even had like I think when they were talking about this first, they had gotten a bottle of Pliny to compare it to and stuff. Although I know Pliny has changed, gradually over the years. This still looks a bit modern, to be honest. I mean, it's got a slight darker hue about it than modern West Coast IPAs. Maybe like, it's not really orange, but it's like a darker shade of yellow. It looks more orange on camera. But it looks nice. It's got a little bit of haze to it. And it's got a white head. And I could kind of smell it from here. But let's check out the aroma on Beyond. Yeah, very marmalade-y citrus. Very marmalade-y citrus. Orangey, tangerine-y, sweet citrus. I mean, it really smells like old school San Diegan IPA. It smells like Sculpin, smells like Stone IPA, where the big emphasis was on citrus. There's a little bit of pine on the back and a little bit of a rich sweet malt, which like the more modern West Coasters are much more crisp. But yeah, I mean, it smells good. It smells vibrant and fresh too. Smells like beers used to be, West Coast IPA used to be around that time. Like around the time 2012 when I went on exchange in New Mexico. Like elevated IPA and stuff like that was also a little bit like that from La Cumbre. Maybe that one had more of a layered hop profile, but it smells really good. Let's try it. Cheers. Thanks to Beer Dome for the beer. Yeah, that's really, really nostalgic. You can also... it's really taking you back to a time pocket where everything was like really citrus, grapefruit focused in the IPA world. The marmalade thing is there. I don't think it's too much, and I'm happy about that. It has a little bit, but I think often the marmalade flavors in IPAs is also because of sweetness and also crystal malt. Here, there's like a little bit of a jammy orange thing, but to me, it's like really citrusy. Tangerine, mandarin, sweet citrus, orange, and grapefruit. A bit of pine on the back too, some bitterness. The bitterness feels a little bit more restrained than the beers were back then. I feel like they were a little bit more bitter than this. Not loads. This is one where I'm gonna have to go in for a little bit more because this is really tasty. I would love just a slightly more bigger impact of hops on this one, just to really drive it home. Because although hopping rates back then was a whole lot lower, some of them also had bigger impacts, I feel like. When we think back to like, maybe like Alpine Nelson, even like Alpine Hoppy Birthday back then, for example, that was a pale ale that had huge impact. Or Zombie Dust, also pale ale with a huge impact, where the flavors were a little bit more tropical and stuff. But yeah, it's really, really taking me back. It feels also a bit like kind of like a core range type product because it's not as explosive as also some of the best West Coast IPAs from that time, like beers from McElhenney and stuff like that. Also, even like Pliny is much more explosive, like compared to this. Also, Blind Pig, it feels more restrained, but still really good. It feels like lighter dry hop, lighter hopping rates, but still enough to make it interesting. Because I also think Northern Monk, with some of these beers where the cans are, is there a date here? It's a weird code. But I think with Northern Monks, when the cans are like this, when they're printed and laminated on here like this, it's a bigger production. It's a larger scale. I mean, they have 2 facilities. One where they do the paper labels and then one where they do stuff like this. And I do think this one could be one that has a larger distribution footprint because it's, it could be more hoppy and it would not be over hopped for sure. And there's a lot of balance to it, but I would personally, that's like the only beef with this. There's a great beer sitting in this, but if they just made an extra hop beyond, they would have nailed it. I mean, I think they already kind of nailed that 2010s West Coast IPA. They actually did. I just think it could have a bit more punch to it, and then it would have been a home run. Because beers back then were not as necessarily as aggressively hopped as they are now. Like maybe the highest would be 20 grams per liter in some rare occasions and dry hops and whatnot. But most beers back then was like 10 grams per liter, 12, 15, stuff like that. And this feels a little bit lower, but still good flavors. And it's got a little bit of that sweet malty bready thing, more of a rich malt backbone than a lot of modern West Coast IPAs. I don't mind that. I just prefer the more crisp ones. Just summing up on flavors quickly. Very grapefruity, very citrus forward, loads of mixed sweet citrus fruits, slight jamminess, rich bready malt, drying, bitter, spicy finish with grapefruit. Touches of pine. I don't think it's super piney. It really focuses on that citrus profile, which is, again, the 2010 IPA. It's really good. I could drink loads of this. Loads of this. I'm not blown away, but I really like it. It's like, maybe if this was a little bit fresher, it would be a straight 90. But as it is right now, it's close. It's like maybe 88 or something like that. And if it was even higher hopping rates, it could be higher. But it's a good classic IPA. And it really shows the IPAs that paved the way for what's going on now very well. So Beyond, definitely check it out, especially if you're into the classic 2010s West Coast IPAs. I think this is a must try, actually. So yeah, go get some. I think they might still actually have this on Beer Dome as well. So I got it a little while back, but check them out. Link for the shop is down below. Thanks a ton to Beer Dome for the beer. And if you guys already had this one, let me know what you thought. Also, Sierra Nevada. Like, this kind of reminds me a little bit of a Sierra Nevada label. There's a little bit, the color scheme and everything. There is some homages going on there, but Green Flash, maybe even. Old school Green Flash. But yeah, if you guys had this one, let me know what you thought of it. Thanks a ton to Beer Dome for the beer. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and all that social media stuff. And I'm going to say cheers and some delicious West Coast IPA. See you guys in another beer review.